So I think all poets should keep a journal, and I keep a journal, and I will burn it when it's done before I will leave it around. And it's not because there's things that are scandalous in it. It's because there should be something for you that no one else has access to unless you want them to.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where we do and talk about anything because you have nothing better to do and neither do I. Anyways, so today I thought it would be fun to talk about my journaling system and what I do and why I think you should journal too and how to become more consistent at it. So as you already seen, the first clip of the video was an amazing poet. What can I say? I love her work. I learned about her when I was currently in my Arab feminism class in college. So while I was doing my homework, I found that clip through one of the videos we were required to watch, and I thought it would be fun to add that in because I felt like it was very fitting for the vlog or video that I already wanted to make today. And hopefully you guys got something out of that too. And if you like her, I would say definitely go check out more of her poems and poetry. I put a link to that specific interview in the description if you want to check her out. So yeah, so back to what I was saying. I've been journaling, I think, my entire life since I was little. And I remember I used to keep a diary. For me, it's mostly a diary. That's what I like to call it. I know some people say journal, diary, whatever. Whatever you want to call it, girl, that's what works for you. Or guy. Or non-binary. I don't know what you are. Whoever you are, whatever you want to do, that's cool. But anyways, I did it for so long, and then I remember one time my sister had read my diary to everybody and was saying who I had a crush on when I was in like 4th grade. And then I was like, I'm never doing anything personal ever again. Until I was in like high school. That's when I would start writing stuff again because I was going through like a rough time, and I would write about what was happening. And then I kind of just stopped, like it fizzled out because it got like too dramatic feeling. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I just couldn't handle that much stress anymore. I was like, why am I relaying everything that I do? So I ended up officially journaling again in 2023, February 8th. Guys, that's literally coming up. By the time I post this, it might actually be February 30, I don't know. But I started taking it seriously February 8th, 2023. While I was in college. I don't know, I think it was maybe my 2nd semester ever, or maybe the beginning of my 2nd year. It might have been, I don't know which one, but I decided I would keep a diary because I thought it would be fun again. And as you can see, like, this is just a composition book. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, if you want to start, you don't need to get that, what is it called? The Paper Republic. If you're beginning, you don't need to get the other French one. I can't remember what it's called. That are like $300 if you're not going to actually journal. Like, girl, I'm telling you right now, you don't need to do that if you're not going to journal. What a waste. Like, I'm telling you right now, even for me, I've been journaling now. This will be, what, 23? My 2nd year journaling, like, consistently. And even me, I'm like, okay, do I need it? It looks super beautiful, don't get me wrong, and the charms and everything are super cute. I love it. But if you're a beginner, I'm telling you right now, like, girl, all you need is a piece of paper and a pen. You don't need anything else. If you're gonna journal, just start journaling. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful thing ever. It doesn't have to have like the most immaculate stationery or something. No, if you want to, just do it. Another thing I would say that really worked for me is starting off just very small. Like, in the beginning, I would just talk about like my day, and I thought it would be fun to make little pictures. I don't want to talk about every single thing I did, but I would draw tiny little pictures in and stuff like that. If you guys seen something about my personal life, whatever. Yeah, so if you paused, you're not getting nothing cool because this was the first day I journaled, so I wasn't being very personal. So mind your business. But anyways, I would just think, like, I don't know, I thought it would be fun to draw little pictures in it. And then I would keep things like, well, I don't want to show the receipt, but I would keep like library receipts from when I checked out a book, and I would put them in here, or like tiny little things I got, because that made it more fun. I would keep personal letters. I would like print out pictures and put it in here as well. And I feel like that really helps, just making it fun. It doesn't have to be serious. Some days all I would write is like just a quote I liked. Like, I was watching WandaVision in 2023, and I put, "What is grief if not love persevering?" That's literally all I wrote that day. just because it stuck out to me and I liked it. And I feel like that really helps for you guys as well if you want to be consistent and see or like know what you like and what relates to you and connects to you, and just have things to look back on to see like what shaped you into like who you are today, and to remember like things that happened. There's so many things in here that I literally would not have remembered if I hadn't written it down, and I'm like, oh, my life was kind of good back then. Or I'm like, oh, I didn't even know I was going through that back then and I got through it. I can definitely get through whatever I'm going through right now. Like, I got this, you know? And just random things, just like even like your loved ones, like writing about them so you can remember them like when they pass. Like, I know that sounds sad, but like for my grandpa, I'd write things in here, and I don't know, it's just nice to look back on now that he's gone. And I'm like, wow, now I have all these memories I can remember, because, you know, obviously as time goes by, oh, like even like just like my cat that passed away, and I was writing about her, and then when she passed away I wrote exactly what it felt like, because I'm actually glad I did, even though it really hurt, because I blocked all of that out. So if I hadn't written it down, I would not have remembered. But yeah, I feel like that definitely helps. I don't know, for me, I think of like a diary and a journal as just like, if you're a person who loves collecting things, you'd understand, but it's like a time capsule for your memories, so you can remember and look back on stuff, because I don't like forgetting things. It makes me sad. So having a journal or like a diary is good for me to look back on those things so I can remember things. Like, even like just remembering how somebody thought of me in the beginning, and then looking back now and I'm like, oh, that's what they thought of me. I completely forgot that. I don't know, just little things like that too. But I feel like it definitely helps me as well with regulating my emotions, because I'm gonna tell you guys right now, you don't need to say everything that you're feeling on the internet. You don't need to do that. You don't need to tell every single person exactly what you feel about them right then and there at the moment that you're upset. No, that's what a diary is for. That's what you write in here for. You write in there to regulate your emotions. Like, I don't think you guys understand. There's been so many times where I'll write in my diary first about the entire situation, exactly what I feel like. And it low-key helps, first of all, just so you know you're not being gaslit and you're like, no, I know what I felt that day. Or second, it also helps to realize you're in the wrong sometimes. And you're like, okay, looking at this perspective of this person, I can see why they're upset, and maybe I shouldn't have reacted that way. And so it's probably better that I wrote in here first instead of yelling at them and then feeling even worse, and then your relationship gets more strained than it needed to be in the first place. I feel like that definitely helps. I don't know, I just really love writing in here. Also, if you're stressed out, just writing, you have to think, it's almost like meditation too. Like, you're speaking to yourself. Like, I think it is a form of self-love and self-care, because I think that is, you know, words of affirmation, but also like a friend that you're talking to, because it's yourself. But another reason I feel like having a diary is great is, honestly, I don't know, it just feels really good to know, I don't know, that you're gonna have something to look back on when you're older. So what I like to do, I like to put a lot of pictures of me during the times that I'm writing, so I can remember what I look like. And I feel like it makes it more personable, because even now, like, it's 2025, like, looking back, I'll look at me from 2 years ago and I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, you didn't know what was going on. You didn't know what was coming. All the great things are coming, some sad things, some bad things. And something about that is so beautiful to me, because I'm like, wow, you're just so, not even naive, but you just, like, you didn't know. You're ignorant. Not in a bad way, but you just didn't know. And that's so cool to just look back on. Or even seeing like how I dressed. It's like, you can do so much self-reflection through there, and seeing how you reacted differently to a situation now than you would have. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's just so great for self-reflection. It's one of my favorite things about owning a diary, and I feel like more people honestly should. That way they can actually understand themselves, and even understand when you're being a hypocrite. Sometimes I realize that I'm being a hypocrite and that I don't like something, but I like doing something, and realizing like, okay, I should change my ways. That's not right. And I don't know, it's really fun though, but sometimes it can be stressful. But I feel like at the end of the day, it relieves a lot of my stress. Like, I'll even bring my diary with me everywhere. I bring it to work and stuff, or if I'm going out to eat, and while I'm at work on my break in my car at lunch or something, I'll just be writing in here about why I'm stressed out, and then I can go back to work feeling like empty-headed. Not empty-headed in a bad way, but like refreshed and better, and I can feel more optimistic about the rest of the day. But anyways, moving on. For this year, I ended up getting a new journal. I actually got this one. I started it before the year started. I started writing in here on October 30th, 2024 because I thought it would be fitting since my birthday was October 21st, and I thought since it's my birthday, since I'll be turning 20, I feel like my 20s I should have a new journal. Especially because I had already completed this one. Like, do you see how full that is? Like, there's no more writing in there, girl. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's so fitting. For my 20s, I'll have a new journal. Or at least the beginning of my 20s. And like I said, I think it's fun to just keep pictures of you. Because this is how I looked when I started it. And then, you know, just a little picture of me when I was little. To look back on it, because I'm like, oh, this is the girl I'm working for. I love her. I love myself. Anyways, so I write in here a little differently than I wrote in my other one. So if you want to become consistent, I would say just start off small. Just write about your day, tiny little things and stuff like that. Now I feel like this journal is a lot more introspective, and I write more deeply about what's going on, which makes sense because now that I'm 20, like when I started this one, it was the beginning of 2023, so I believe I was like 18 or 19. I think I was 18. I think I was still 18, and then I turned 19. I don't know. Yeah, because then I turned 20 at the end of that one and the beginning of this one. I don't know, something like that. I can't remember. I was a lot younger. But now, like, you know, my first time voting and then being more into politics and things like that, and, you know, obviously affects me. And I'm sad about what's going on right now. I don't like that Trump's the president. But whatever, I guess I'll have to endure it. But that doesn't mean I'll be happy about it. But yeah, like voting for the first time, being more conscientious about what's happening in the world right now since I'm the adult now. I'm not a little kid anymore. Realizing that maybe things that I grew up watching aren't necessarily the most beneficial. Like maybe they help me in some ways. Like there's a lot of stuff. I could go on a whole rant about the Wizard Liz. That girl, I don't hate her ever. I don't think I ever could. I love that girl. I feel like she helped me a lot when I was younger to learn about self-love and everything, but I feel like it does come to a point where you do become a bit selfish, and I feel like that was not good. And I feel like I was looking at the world in a more selfish lens, which isn't good, but I feel like it definitely helped me get to a certain point of being more self-loving and putting myself first. But then now that I'm older, I can take a step back and learn to be more selfless again in a way that still is self-loving for me. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I'm also working now, so there's lots of stuff about feelings of that, as well as like how people are viewing me now that I'm in an atmosphere where more people are around me, or even how men view me now that I'm older. I don't know. I feel like it's a lot more self-reflection rather than in this journal when I was younger. It was a lot more just about my day-to-day and like tiny little struggles, being like, oh my god, I'm so stressed out, I have this test. And then now it's like different. Not that that's a bad thing. Guys, I love my life so much. I love my life so much. I'm very happy that I even have, like, I don't know, everything that I have to even go through. But it's obviously going to be way different now. And so it's a lot more self-reflection rather than, like, self-reflection right then and there rather than in this one where I was just talking about anything. And then now as an adult, I can go back. I was an adult here too, but you know what I mean? Like older and being able to self-reflect on how I used to be. This one is like self-reflecting how I am now. I also want to point out that I don't journal every single day. I know, okay, contrary to popular belief, I also don't make a journal prompt for every month either. If that works for you, that works for you and you should do that. That doesn't work for me at all. I will get so stressed out and overwhelmed trying to keep up with something like that. So it would just burn me out and then I'm not going to journal ever again. For me personally, what helps me be consistent is bringing my diary, journal, whatever, everywhere I go. I put it in my backpack when I go to college or classes or whatever. I bring it with me when I go to work in my bag. If I go out to eat by myself, I'll bring it. If I go to the mall by myself, I'll bring it. You never know. I'll be in that car and I'll be jotting stuff down. I always bring a pen on me as well. So that definitely helps. And so if I'm ever in the mood, I can just bring it out and start writing in it rather than like, if I'm somewhere else and I'm stressed out and then I'm like, oh, I have to write my diary when I get home. And then I get home when I'm tired and I don't do it. Going back to the quote that I put into the beginning of the video though, I do want to point out that I do believe your journal should be personal to you. I think you should be able to write about literally anything you want and not be worried about anybody being able to read it. And if you're not in a situation where you think that somebody's going to, that you believe that somebody will read it, then I would say, like what I do, bring it with you everywhere you go. Don't tell anybody you have it then. And also, like, even if it's like for a safety thing, like you don't want them to know because maybe something bad will happen to you. You can also get like journals on your phone and they can have a password lock and do it on there. If somebody watches your phone as well, girl, we're gonna journal and we're hiding it, I don't know, in our underwear. I don't know. But I feel like it really is beneficial for you. That way you can have something like an outlet for yourself to keep to yourself and you don't have to be worried about other people telling your business. And I feel like that really helps too when you're writing freely just for yourself, because that's how you're gonna get the best self-reflection and understanding yourself more. I feel like rather than if you're too scared because you're like, oh, well, if somebody's gonna read this, I have to be more nice, I have to be more kind just in case that person reads this. I don't want them to think worse of me. No, girl, that needs to be just for you. You write whatever you feel in that moment right then and there, because that's what's gonna help you get rid of those emotions so you don't harbor like resentment towards people. Like if you keep that in, it's just gonna make it worse for everybody. If you write freely about how you feel in that situation, you feel it for that entire day, that's gonna help you so much more in the future than keeping it inside. That's why so many people are so abusive now, because they never ever figured out their childhood trauma when they were smaller, and now they want to inflict on everybody else and they don't realize that they're doing it. No, we're not doing that. We're working on ourselves. But yeah, I feel like that's the gist of all of my tips and everything and the reasons why I feel like you should journal. Obviously, there's going to be way more, but those are going to come from you, I think, personally, of what's going to help you. Because everybody is different. Everybody's journaling system is different. Some people like to keep like a traveler's journal, and their journal is only for like not necessary, but like interesting information. I feel like I would like to have one of those too, but I don't know, I have a lot of stuff going on. So I usually just put stuff that I learned in my notes or on my Notion. But you can do that. You can just have a daily one where you just bring up random stuff you learn every day. There's gratitude journals where you talk about something you're grateful for every morning or something. I also have a planner. And that's where I put all the stuff I need to do because I get stressed out very easily. But you're going to find something that's going to work for you. You just have to start at a point. But yeah, if you were wondering where I got my journal from, or even my planner, they're from the exact same place. I get it from Papier, Papier. I think it's Papier. Papier. I don't know how exactly to pronounce it, but they're my favorite place to go to. It's very high quality and you get to customize it, like how it says my name on here. And they have so many pretty different covers. I think this is who I'm gonna go to for the rest of my journals. I'm already kind of into it already. I don't know, personally I like it a lot. I love the paper. I personally prefer it over using an actual notebook. Now I understand why people have actual journals for things like this, because a notebook, the margins are like huge, I feel like. But in here, let me find a random page. I don't know, like there's no margin, so you can like write as freely as you want and do whatever you want. I personally like that better, and I find it easier to write in. And it's just so much smaller compared to like an actual one. Well, an actual like notebook. So it's easier to carry with you everywhere you go. I usually use like normal bags. Like I have a huge one. I don't know where my bag is. I use my Coach Terry Hobo bag a lot as well when I go into public. And this fits perfectly in there. My neck is so red, I keep scratching, but it works or fits perfectly in there. So it's easy to take with you everywhere you go. And I like it better. It's hardcover, so it's not gonna be like, you know, ripping like an actual one is. An actual like composition book. It's more sturdy. I like that it has my little built-in bookmark. That way it's easy to just find the page that I'm on and just start writing again. It makes it so much easier as well. And yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. Bye.